In this video, we'll discuss about the coding question that came in 9th of May, shift 1. The question analysis, I would say, it is a good level. It is not that medium level also. If you have like all these question were fundamental question that every student might have did when he or she is practicing for any of the coding exams. Hello everyone, my name is Aditya Mishra and welcome back to Prime Coding channel. If you are preparing for TCS NQT or any of the on-campus placement or off-campus placement, you are at the right place. I put the content which will help you to prepare for your placement. In the future, I will upload the videos which will help you to crack interviews. So please subscribe the channel so that you won't miss any of the updates. So let's move forward with the very first question which states, given an integer n, return true if it is an Armstrong number, otherwise return false. Okay, and an Armstrong number is a number that is equal to the sum of its own digit, each raised to the power of the number of digit. Okay, so let us understand what actually Armstrong number is. So let us take the example 153. So as you can see, what it is written, that is, number is a number that is equal to the sum of its own digit. Okay, so sum of its own digit, great, and each raised to the power of the number of digits. So the number of digit in this case we have 3, so it would be 3 3 3. So each number has its power of the number of digits. Then you need to find the sum. So what happens is 1 plus, so it would be 5 into 5 25, and 25 into 5 would be 125, plus 3 into 3 is 9, and 9 into 3 is 27. Now if you do this calculation, you will get 153 as a result, which means the summed value or the new result that we generated using the conditions of Armstrong number would be the same as the given input. Great, then the particular number would be the Armstrong number that you need to find. I don't think so you might have issue of writing this code, but in this question the specific thing that we need to take care of it, as because the input was given in this way. It has square brackets as well as 153, 371 and 108. Guys, if you are preparing for this exam, it might be an issue, like in the question it has mentioned like the input would be like this, but you need to figure it out. If you are taking the input like this, if it is worked, then it is great. But there are chances like it is written like this, they are giving the input in this manner, like having a square bracket into the inputs, but it might be they can give as 153, 371. So you need to check for each and every condition. Try one. If you get error, please try the another way. If you got another error, please try the another way. So I have created dedicated video on how to take input in TCS NQT exam. You can find the video on my channel, or I will put the link into the description. Great. Now the thing is how to write this code. Guys, as I always say, please watch all my shift video if you are preparing for this exam, because similar concept has been used in 6th of May shift 1. Great. In that we have a prime number concept. From that we need to calculate the sum of the prime number and check whether that sum is prime or not. So same concept will use here. What I will do is, for 153, first step I will use the modulus operator over it, so that I can get the last digit present in the number. So I will take as new num, or I would new num. Great. So new contains the last digit of the number. After that, what I will do, I will create a sum. Fine, because I need to check, I will need to store the sum so that I can check in the last whether my sum is equivalent to the given number or not. Then we can declare it as an Armstrong number or any else. Great. So I will take sum plus equivalent to the new number raised to the power the k. K is the size of the number. In this case, we have 3. Fine. So last is 3. It would be 10. Okay. So it would be 10. So you got the last number. You have put in the raised power size of the n, and in the last you need to reduce the given input. So how you can reduce? Divide it by 10 so that point will come, and as we are dealing with all the integer value, 153 15.3 will be converted as 15, and this will go continuously until my n becomes 0. So this would be our approach. We'll quickly write this approach into the code snippet and let's see the result. Guys, I would tell you, in this video, I will cover Python, Java and C++. So all these code snippet, you can find it over my GitHub. I will put the link into the description. Please have a look over it. Great. So for finding the Armstrong number, before going to Armstrong number, let's come to here. Okay. As the question state, if like something is missing in the question, if there is no Armstrong number present in this array, you need to print like this. You need to print a comment like this. Okay. As mostly the question won't ask you to print the comment, but in this case they have asked you to print the same, like you need to focus on every alphabet because it's a case sensitive output. Great. So in the input you don't need to print anything, it's just for your reference I have written. Now you can see I am using stripping and splitting function to strip the square brackets and split according to the commas in the Python language. Great. I'm using flag. I will let you know why I'm using flag. Now what I am doing, from each and every digit, because I am taking input in a string format, in a string format. So I will iterate over each digit that I have got after stripping and splitting. Great. Now num I have converted into the integer because after this operation, I know that in my array all the number would be nums, but a data type is string. So we need to typecast it. I have typecasted as an int. Now the length I have taken because to solve this question, we need to put the power equivalent to, which is equivalent to the size of the number. So I am calculating the n also. Great. Now if is Armstrong number means if this function returns me the true, which means it is following the Armstrong number conditions, and we just need to print it as a space separated as a question asks us to print. Great. And anytime I got the Armstrong number, then I don't need to print this comment. If my flag is still 0, which means I didn't encounter any of the Armstrong number, so you need to print the comment. Great. So I hope you got this main function. Now moving forward with the main function is Armstrong number, in that n is the number and k is the size of the number. Fine. Now initialized my sum as 0. Now original number I need to store it because I am operating my while loop over the given input. Now I have stored original and now original num is greater than 0, which means while loop should go until my num doesn't become 0. Now digit is equivalent to original number mod 10 so that I can get the last digit. Fine. That's why I'm writing digit, calculating the sum of it by putting the power of size of num. Great. Now reducing my original length so that I can iterate over the rest of the digits. Great. Now in the last, my sum will be ready. Now I will check my sum is equivalent to n. If it is, please return true or else return false. You can write this is like this also, sum is equivalent to n. If it is satisfying this condition, it will return as true or else it would be false. Great. So the time complexity of this solution would be order of n into order of k, where k is the size of the num. Great. Because I am iterating over whole integer in this loop and parsing over a number once the number of times each digits are there. Great. So the time complexity would be this and space complexity would be order of 1 and this solution would be accepted. So without wasting time, let's move forward to discuss the C++ approach. So C++ approach, same logic, will write it here. The same logic, sum, then original number, iterating over the last digit and calculating the sum using the power method to get the power of digit and k. You can use digit into you can write a for loop where you can multiply digit k number of times, or you can use power also. Please guys, try it by yourself without using inbuilt function also. Great. Now original num divided by 10 so that you can shrink that digit. If it is 153, so you have processed the 3, please shrink it. Now 5, please shrink it. Great. And in the last, as I have told you just now in the Python code, you can write this condition. If it is following the sum is equivalent to n, it will return true and we are good to go. Now the main thing is how you can parse or take the input and arrange it as per your need. Fine. So system to enter the separated commas. Now string input, taking the one liner input because everything would be the string format. Now string of array input dot split as according to commas. Great. Now creating the array list. Guys, this is not a C++ code. This is Java code. Fine. Now string.num array. Fine. Adding each and every element into the array list, putting my flag, iterating over each and every digit which is in the string format, parsing it to the int, putting it into our function, checking whether it is satisfying the condition. If it is, just reinitializing my flag and printing my num which is satisfying our condition. If there is no Armstrong number, printing the no Armstrong number and scanner.close. It's an optional and you are good to go. Guys, there are issues with the class name also. If your own given name is not working, please put it as main. Be very conscious while writing the keywords because in Java, you comparatively write more according to the other language. So let's move to the C++ code. The same thing, if you have understood the Java code, I think this would be the cakewalk for you. Now taking the input, taking the get line input, fine. Creating a string array, position, size tree, or you can take int as per your choice. Now position, find commas, and if you got it, please create a substring and put it into our array. Fine. And erase that particular ranged value from 0 to position 1 so that the processed commas and all will be removed. Fine. Now array plus push back last input that you have. It might be you have not encountered the last element that you have seen so far. You have not seen so far because this will go until the second last element. So you need to put the last element also. Now flag to check whether we got the Armstrong number or not, and just passing it to the Armstrong function, and if it is not there, just printing no Armstrong number present. So I hope you got both three of the approaches. Please, if you are having a Java or C++ as your main language, take Python as a backup language. If you are not able to write code in your favorite language, so there would be no issues because you know another language also. So without wasting much time, let's move to this question. If you have understood the previous question, please give me a like and put anything into the comment that you have understood or any doubts. I would be very happy to respond to you back. Now, top candidate need to be printed from the given input. Guys, this question was pretty lengthy. I have just written the main part. Great. So in this particular input, the 3 stands for the k elements. K is you need to print the k top students whose marks is much greater than compared to the other students. Now 4 here, the 4 stands for the number of students they will give as an input. Now you can see the input format is in the one line. Okay, it is a task. You need to parse it. The questions are very easy. Just the thing is you need to take the input according to the question and you are good to go. Now the question states 90 John, 85 Bob, 92 Alice and 110 Aditya. All these grades has been stored with the marks as well as with the name. So you need to process it to solve it. So what the approach I have given is, like, you can solve it multiple ways and you can use sort algorithm also, and anything sort algorithm or maps or many approach that you can do it. Great. Now the main thing is how you can process it or write the main code. So for writing the main code, what I will do, firstly I need to parse it. So I know that, let me write this given input 3 4 90 John and Bob 85 Bob and 92 Alice and 110 Aditya. Great. So let's see. We know that from 0 to 1, this is we don't need. It's just a number where the number of times will get the input, and this is a k. So in the beginning itself, I will fetch my k from this list because it would be L of 0 would be our k and n would be our L of 1, which states that the number of students as an input. Great. And each marks is belongs to the very next name. Great. So what I will do is I will create an array which stores a tuple of 90 and John. Fine. Then what I will do, similar to that, I will create this type of array for all given input and I will sort according to the marks. So you can sort it in many methods, but in this case, I will use lambda function, which is basically used to write a comparator. If you have used in C++ or Java, you know that what is comparator means, but in lambda is used in Python to create some modification while you are sorting. Great. Now we'll see the code, how we can do it. For Python, I will write some different code. For C++ and Java, I will write it some different code. Great. So, and these codes were submitted by the students. That's why I'm discussing. Okay. Now, we'll check how we can do this, as this is a very short lines of code. Let's see. Taking the input, one liner input. Now splitting it. What split will do is, according to the spaces, like as you can see in the input, everything is divided by the spaces. Fine. If it is divided by the commas, then or separated by the commas, instead of writing space, just put comma inside it. You're good. Your work is good to go. And if in the case you got some square brackets, just use strip. Fine. Now k comma n. Now int l comma 0, I know that the very first element, what it will have is the k value, the number of top students that you need to print. And the int len would give me the total number of students that I need to take input. Great. So simply creating an array, because I need the specific array where I can create the combos of student marks and the student name. As you can see, for I in range, I know the loop will start from 2 because first 2 elements are just for the information, and for every step I will take 2 jumps, because in the first jump, and I will take you here, like I know that firstly it will start from 2, then it will be 3, then it will be 4, then it will be 5. So when I want to, I will store this together and takes the 2 jumps. Now when I am 4, so I will take 2 inputs together and takes the 2 jumps. So it will be a 6, like this I will do. Great. So that I will create my array according to the approach that I have thought of. Whatever I have thought, directly writing into the code. It's not like I'm thinking something and writing into the code. Please try to clear your thought. As much you have a clear thought, you can write the code accordingly. Great. So marks comma name is equivalent to int I and I plus 1. Okay, because the number, let's say our I, we have 95, and another index would be I plus 1 with the name associated with it. So writing the same thing, putting into the tuple format into my dictionary. You can put it in array format also, it depends upon you. Now this is the main thing, sorted array. Please sort my array, where is the array that sorted function need to sort, which is array you need to sort. Now here I am using key. Now key stands for lambda for all x values present as x of 0, because in my array everything is stored like this. Let's say for an example, I will take this, everything is stored like this. Please, this would be 0 index, this would be at first index. So sort according to my 0th element. Great. And put the reverse to, so that the maximum element would be on the top. If it is on the top, so writing just a for loop till k elements and printing it as the question states. As you can see, colon and 1 space. Same thing I have written as the question want us from this. Now colon with 1 space, I am doing the same. Great. Now print this with the format of name and marks. Your answer is over. And guys, please don't be worried about whether lambda would be accepted or sorted function will work. In this question, it will definitely work, because question itself want you to use this sorted algorithm, because it's being used. Otherwise the code will be much more lengthy. You need to write the optimal sorted algorithm, then perform the key operation that we have just performed using some lines of words or some bits of words. Great. If it doesn't work, which means you need to write all the sorted functions, as well as you need to create a key which will sort according to the very first value. Great. But this is workable code I have discussed with one of the candidate who have been appeared for this session. Great. Now let's move forward with the C++ code. Great. Now C++ code, same. I'm taking the input, one liner input, creating a token which I can process it further. String stream is a function. You can use string stream also now, so that I can pass over the string properly. Now you can see ISS total, taking a token, we are iterating over the string. IL is equals to pushback token. Fine. Just putting everything into my list. Now k, very first value would be the k, second value would be the number of students, creating the vector which has pair into it. One for the marks and another for the string. Great. Starting with the second index, because I know from second till n I have the student name as well as the marks. Now storing it to the string to integer, converting it to the string to integer, storing it with a pair so that I can process it further. Now you can see the sorted algorithm. This is a greater, which means greater means in the reverse order, so that the first value has the maximum marks associated with the name. Okay, so pair int and string, I am doing the same. Now top equivalent to 0 means top should be less than equivalent to k, and top should also be less than equivalent to the array size. It might be the top, the k is given till 3 and the size is only 2. Fine. So it might create some issues. So writing both the case together will take you to the safer side. Now top plus plus will just increment for every each iteration and you are good to go. Now see out array of top dot second, which means you are taking the second, which is the name associated with the marks. Great, because in the question, you can see in the question how they need us is, firstly you need to print the name, then colon with one space and the marks. Same thing I am doing, colon, one space, firstly with the name and another with the marks. Great. Now discuss the Java code. Now Java code is also very similar to both of the language that I have discussed. Splitting according to the spaces, taking two values, creating a list with a pair of integer and string, loops to create our list so that I can process it over, and as I have said here, I have used comparator so that I can create the comparator which will sort the given list according to the marks. As you can see, I have written all the stuffs here. Now for top equivalent to 0, top is less than k, same function, that same line I would say. Similarly, I am written in the C++ also, top incremented, and for as I am processing it, please print the get value of the name and separated by this a colon with a space, then pair dot get value would be the marks. Great. So I hope you have understood both the questions. So both the questions were very easy. If you feel so after watching this tutorial also, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe the channel. Put anything into the comment. I would be very happy to respond to you back. I will meet you with a new video soon.